You are no longer broke. This is not a motivational quote or a phrase to temporarily lift your spirits. This is a declaration from heaven. A prophetic proclamation delivered to you, not by coincidence, but by divine design. If you are hearing these words right now, it means God has marked you for something greater. He has chosen this exact moment to reveal to you that the season of lack, of struggle, of not enough, has come to a close. Your soul may hesitate, your mind may question, but let your spirit rise up and recognize the voice behind this message. You are not here by mistake. This video did not find you because of an algorithm. This message was sent directly to you, because God has something to say. The trials you've endured, the long nights worrying about bills, the quiet tears shed in private, the dreams you kept tucked away because money always seemed just out of reach, those were not punishments. They were tests. God allowed you to walk through that valley not to break you, but to build your faith. He wanted to see if you would keep walking even when it didn't make sense, even when nothing changed, even when others gave up. And now, he says, the testing is over. You've passed. The refining fire has done its work. And now comes the reward. Not by your effort, not by toil or labor, but by the will of the Almighty. The very hand of God is releasing wealth into your life, not just provision, but overflow. Imagine it. Not a slow trickle, not a partial blessing, but a mighty river, abundance and prosperity pouring into your life in a way that cannot be explained. It will not be logical. It will not be gradual. It will be divine. God's word says that when He opens the windows of heaven, there is not room enough to contain the blessing. That is what is being spoken over your life right now. This is not a seasonal improvement. It is a shift in identity. You are no longer someone who waits for good things to happen. You are now one through whom the goodness of God will flow. And in this moment of divine clarity, there is a call. Not just to listen, but to respond. If you feel this truth awakening something in you, if your heart is beating faster and your soul is stirring, then don't let this pass you by. You are being summoned. You are one of the 5,000 warriors God is calling to rise up in this new era. Right now, I invite you to affirm your faith, to take action, not later, but now. Type 99 in the comments. That number is not arbitrary, it is symbolic. It is your declaration that you belong to the chosen, to those who have been prepared for this hour of release. It is your agreement with heaven. It is your response to God's call, saying, "Yes, Lord. I receive what you have spoken." And as you do, know this, your life is about to change in ways that you could not have imagined. Not because you're chasing money, but because heaven is chasing you. Grace is catching up to you. Favor is surrounding you. And God is rewriting the narrative of your life, not with ink, but with blessing. Every area where there was emptiness, He is filling. Every place of brokenness, He is restoring. You've been faithful with little, and now He is trusting you with much. This wealth is not just financial. It is spiritual authority. It is emotional healing. It is relational restoration. It is peace where there was panic. Vision where there was confusion. You are not only being blessed, you are being positioned. You are becoming a light to others. A walking testimony that God can take someone from broke to blessed without a single hour of striving, only by surrender. So let this be your moment of agreement. Not a moment of hesitation, but of boldness. Like Abraham, step out in faith. Like Joseph, hold on to the dream even when your surroundings haven't caught up yet. Like Esther, know that you have come into the kingdom for such a time as this. You are not poor. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are right on time, and God is ready to reveal what He has prepared for you all along. If you feel that this message speaks directly to your spirit, I urge you to take a step further. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Help us reach 5,000 subscribers, because this is not just about numbers. It is about building a prophetic community, a company of believers who are ready to walk in what God has already spoken. By joining, you are saying to heaven, count me in. Use me. Prosper me for your purpose. Now, take a breath. Let this word settle in. Let it echo through every room of your soul. No matter how you felt when you pressed play, this is your spiritual turning point. God is declaring the end of one chapter and the beginning of a new one. You are moving from survival to abundance, from being overlooked to being lifted up. You are walking into the manifestation of what God decided long ago, that you are a millionaire in His name. And now, with your heart open and your mind aligned with His promise, prepare to step into the next revelation. Because what comes next will not just confirm your wealth, it will affirm your identity. It will show you that you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to carry something extraordinary. Something sacred. Something eternal. Beloved, hear this with the fullness of your spirit: the burdens you once carried are no longer yours to bear. You have entered into a new era, a sacred shift decreed by the Most High Himself. The days of weariness, of struggling under the weight of responsibilities too heavy for one soul, have come to an end. For it is written, not by man, but by the divine, God is taking every burden off your shoulders and replacing it with ease and happiness. This is not poetry. This is prophecy. You must begin to see your life through the eyes of heaven. The same hands that shaped the stars are now reaching into your life, not to place more weight upon you, but to lift it, gently, decisively, permanently. Your exhaustion has not gone unnoticed. Your silent tears, your quiet prayers, the way you kept walking even when your legs trembled, God saw it all. And now He says, rest. Let me carry what was never meant for you to hold alone. This is not merely a change in circumstance. It is a change in identity. You are no longer surviving. You are walking in victory. Every small effort you make, every simple act of obedience, will now produce fruit far beyond what is reasonable. Why? Because your spirit is no longer aligned with defeat. It has been filled with the power of triumph. You are clothed with the spirit of victory. In the world, productivity is measured by exhaustion. But in the kingdom, results are born out of alignment. When your heart beats in rhythm with heaven, you will find that your footsteps are guided by favor. You will look back in awe and say, that one small step brought me here. Yes, because grace multiplies what human strength cannot. Your life is no longer dictated by what you can force. It is now shaped by what you choose to trust. With every sunrise, you are not merely waking up, you are awakening. Each new day brings greater blessings, deeper peace, and stronger faith. Let that truth settle in your bones. This is not the tired hope of another chance. This is the reality of a new season. A day when blessings no longer trickle but overflow. When peace is no longer an escape but your dwelling place. When faith no longer needs to be stirred, it simply abides within you, firm and unshakable. Gone are the mornings where you brace yourself for impact. Now, you rise to encounter miracles. What used to feel like resistance is now becoming flow. Where there was once fear, there is now peace. Where there was doubt, there is now clarity. And where there was once silence, the voice of God now whispers, gently but unmistakably, I am here. Keep going. Yet this transformation is not only external. No, the richest part of this journey is the renewal within. This new chapter is not just about having more, it's about becoming more. It's about discovering the version of yourself that was always hidden beneath the scars and the striving. This is not surface-level prosperity. It is deep soul restoration. It is the healing of the inner man. The gentle mending of broken places. The rebirth of hope where disappointment once lived. The world may see a material blessing, but you will know the truth, that what has changed most dramatically is the inner terrain of your being. The anxiety that once ruled you is giving way to trust. The fear that silenced your voice is now bowing to courage. The confusion that clouded your path is being replaced by divine clarity. You are being renewed from the inside out. And beloved, understand this with reverence, you are now living in the age of grace. Not the kind of grace that excuses weakness, but the kind that empowers purpose. Not the grace that lets you avoid your calling, but the grace that finally gives you the strength to rise and fulfill it. This is not about doing more, it is about doing differently. It is about flowing instead of forcing. Trusting instead of toiling. Believing instead of begging. Where once you ran on fumes, you now move with sacred fuel. Where once you stumbled through chaos, you now walk with calm precision. And where once you lived as a servant of survival, you now move as an heir to the kingdom. You are no longer proving your worth through exhaustion. You are now expressing your identity through rest. This is your inheritance. This is the rhythm of heaven. Not chaos, not burnout, not scarcity, but grace, sufficiency, and timing. Pause and ask yourself now, what if this is true? What if your season of striving has ended, not because you gave up, but because God stepped in? What if your tears were not wasted, but planted, watering the very ground from which your harvest now springs? Can you believe it? Can you feel it? The weight has shifted. The air is different. The pressure is lifting. This is your new normal, not because of luck, but because of divine alignment. This new way of living is not about abandoning responsibility, it is about surrendering anxiety. You are still called to walk, but now you walk light. You are still called to speak, but now your words carry more authority with less strain. You are still called to act, but now your actions echo through eternity. You are no longer moving under your own power. You are being carried by grace. This is the season where heaven does the heavy lifting. You simply show up, heart open, hands ready, soul surrendered. That is your only assignment now. Trust the flow, embrace the ease, and move in rhythm with the one who knows the path better than you ever could. Because from this day forward, what once required striving will now unfold in stillness. What once felt unreachable is now within your grasp. And what once drained you will now restore you. You are not the same person who entered the wilderness. You are the one walking out of it, not empty, but full. Not broken, but whole. Not confused, but called. And as you now stand in the calm after the storm, something greater is beginning to take shape, not just around you, but within you. The evidence of divine favor is no longer just financial, it is spiritual, emotional, and deeply personal. You are not merely stepping into a season of riches, you are stepping into a rebirth. God is doing something far more profound than increasing your income, He is renewing your identity, your character, your heart. You see, when God said He was ending your burdens, He didn't just mean the external weights. He also meant the hidden ones, the disappointments you never voiced, the secret tears, the silent doubts that once sat quietly in the back corners of your faith. He is not only removing the struggle from your surroundings, He is transforming the soil of your soul. This transformation is the root of true abundance. Money may come, but peace is what sustains. Resources may arrive, but it is the restoration of your inner world that prepares you to hold those blessings with wisdom and grace. That is why this moment in your life is not just a financial elevation, it is a spiritual awakening. You are no longer a person trying to survive lack, you are now a vessel chosen to carry light. This is what Scripture speaks of when it says, God is making a transformation in your life, not only an external transformation but also an internal renewal. And that renewal is beginning to show. Your thoughts are shifting. Your heart is becoming tender again. The hardness that life once etched into your soul is being replaced by compassion, by clarity, by conviction. You are beginning to see people not as threats but as souls. You are no longer resenting the past but redeeming it. You are no longer chasing validation from the world but resting in the truth that you are already validated by heaven. These are not small changes. These are seismic shifts in the core of who you are. And they are not born from your efforts alone, they are the fruit of grace, the evidence that God is not just changing your bank account, He is changing your being. The love you once felt too drained to offer, He is restoring it. The faith that once felt too fragile to stand, He is fortifying it. The gratitude that seemed lost in hardship, He is awakening it again. You are becoming soft without being weak, confident without being arrogant, wise without being weary. This is what it means to walk in the Spirit and not just in success. The outer blessings are simply confirmations of the inner healing. And in this sacred process of transformation, God reminds you of something essential: you are not random. You are not here by accident. You are a chosen one. Your name is written in the divine blueprint of His plan. No one can replace you. No one else can carry the exact light you were designed to shine. You are not only chosen to receive abundance but to embody the beauty of what abundance becomes when it is carried with holiness. That is why the Word declares, remember, you are a chosen one. Your place in God's plan is special and unique. You may have questioned your worth before, but those questions have no place in this new chapter. You may have doubted your calling, but that doubt has been drowned out by the clarity of your divine assignment. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. Every hardship you endured, every dry season you survived, every night you prayed through tears, it was all preparing you to walk into this exact moment. And what is this moment? It is the beginning of a life where only beauty will flourish. Not just beauty as the world defines it, but a beauty that begins in your spirit and flows outward into everything you touch. Beauty in your thoughts, in your speech, in your relationships, in your decisions. Beauty that doesn't strive to impress but simply reflects the glory of the one who planted it within you. This is the beauty born of surrender. The beauty that emerges when you stop fighting God's process and begin flowing with His purpose. Yes, from this day forward, your life will not only prosper, it will blossom. This is not the season of striving. This is the season of sprouting. You are no longer pushing against the current. You are now in the flow. And that flow carries not just gold, but grace. Not just promotions, but peace. Not just open doors, but open hearts. God is aligning your inner self with the abundance that is unfolding outside of you, because He knows that unless your soul is healed, your hands won't be able to hold what He's about to place in them. So let your heart receive this truth with reverence: you are being renewed from the inside out. You are not who you used to be. You are not who your wounds tried to make you. You are not who your fears whispered you were. You are a chosen one, reborn by the Spirit, invited into a flow where only goodness is allowed to take root. And as you step into the next phase of your journey, know that you are stepping not as the person you once were, but as the person God always saw you becoming. Let this truth settle deep in your spirit: you are not just gaining wealth, you are becoming whole. And now that your spirit is aligned, your emotions grounded, and your heart set ablaze with faith, it's time to receive what comes next. There comes a moment in every journey of faith where what once seemed like a distant dream begins to take form, not just in the heart, but in the hands. After the internal rebirth, after the soul is awakened and aligned with the divine flow, the transformation begins to pour outward. And when it does not arrive silently. It arrives wrapped in evidence, evidence so undeniable that even those who doubted you will fall silent. And the first to feel its warmth will not be the world, but the ones you've loved the longest. Let me speak to your heart: this is not just about you receiving a blessing. This is about God using you to heal the very fabric of your family. That moment you've imagined, the one where you hand your father the keys to the car he could never afford for himself, the one he's only spoken of in hushed tones when he thought no one could hear, yes, that moment is coming. And when the tears fall from his eyes, they will not just be tears of joy. They will be tears that wash away years of quiet struggle, of sacrifice, of silent prayers whispered on sleepless nights. You will feel something sacred awaken in you as his joy becomes your crown. But don't miss the deeper truth. That car, that gift, that act of honoring your father, it's not the result of hustle or human effort. It's the fruit of divine trust. God is the one giving you this abundance, not because you earned it, but because He trusts you to carry it with love. He knows your heart. He saw the way you suffered in silence, the way you gave even when you had little, the way you hoped when hope had no ground left to stand on. This wealth, this provision, is not random. It is sacred. This abundance is not just financial. It is emotional. It is spiritual. It is relational. It is the restoration of what was broken, the redemption of what felt lost, the resurrection of what seemed too late. It is a love that now extends beyond you to those you love most. God's blessings do not come to isolate you in your success, they come to connect you deeper into your calling. This season you are stepping into is not just your season. It is your family's season. It is your legacy's season. Now hear this, everything you've prayed for is beginning to bloom. But the miracle is not that your dream came true. The miracle is that through this dream, God is healing others. He is repairing generational wounds. He is redeeming years of financial scarcity. He is showing your children and your children's children what it means to be favored by God, not just by what you say, but by how you live. Every act of generosity you show, every word of gratitude you speak, every moment of joy you share, it becomes a seed that multiplies. And I must remind you, this dream was never just about achieving comfort. It was about fulfilling a calling. Comfort fades, but calling sustains. You were not blessed just to sit back and enjoy. You were blessed to stand up and shine. God knew that in your hands, this wealth would not become an idol, it would become a testimony. In your life, money would not corrupt, it would clarify. You would use it not to dominate, but to elevate. You would become a carrier of peace, a vessel of restoration, a builder of bridges between hearts. Your home will feel different. Where there was tension, there will be laughter. Where there was fear, there will be prayer. Where there was silence, there will be songs of gratitude. And it won't be because everything is perfect, it will be because God has planted His abundance in the soil of your soul, and it is bearing fruit in your family. They will taste and see that the Lord is good, through you. But perhaps you still wonder, why me? Why would God choose me to carry this blessing? Why would He trust me with this kind of influence and impact? The answer is simple, because He saw what no one else saw. He saw your faith when it was costly. He saw your love when it went unreturned. He saw your heart when it was breaking, and you still praised Him. That's why you're here. That's why you're being lifted. Not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful. And now, God is proving that He is even more faithful. So as this dream becomes reality, do not hold back your praise. Do not shrink into false humility. Stand tall in the grace that has found you. Rejoice, not only for what you receive, but for what you will now be able to give. Your abundance is the answer to someone else's prayer. Your breakthrough is the doorway to someone else's healing. Your faithfulness is unlocking freedom for your family. And if your heart still carries pain from the past, old memories, strained relationships, words that wounded you long ago, know that this blessing also carries within it the power to reconcile. The wealth that's coming isn't just to pay bills or buy cars. It's to create space for love to return, for conversations to reopen, for forgiveness to flow. You're not just receiving a deposit into your account. You're receiving a deposit into your destiny. Now pause and reflect, what if your greatest gift wasn't the wealth itself, but the healing it would bring to your bloodline? What if this was never just about provision, but about purpose? What if God chose you not because you were the strongest, but because you were willing to say yes, even when it cost you everything? This is not just a reward. It is a responsibility. And you are ready. So walk forward with open hands and a full heart. Let every step be grounded in gratitude, every decision rooted in love. Let your family see not only what God can give, but who God can make us become when we surrender fully to His plan. And as you carry this blessing, remember this truth: wealth may fill your hands, but love will fill your home. And in the end, it is love, generous, sacrificial, holy love, that will prove to the world that God was the source of it all. From here, the path expands, for the wealth God is placing in your life will not only sustain you, it will multiply through you. What begins in your household will ripple outward, shaping the next phase of your divine journey. Beloved, if you've come this far in your journey, then you know by now that what is happening in your life is not ordinary. You are not simply moving from financial lack to financial overflow. No, what you are experiencing is the unveiling of divine alignment. This wealth you're stepping into is not the fruit of human striving or endless toil, it is the natural outcome of your spirit being brought into harmony with the will of God. Let me say it plainly, wealth is no longer something you chase, it is something you attract, because your soul has entered the current of heaven's design. For so long, the world has taught us to associate success with sweat. We've been taught to measure prosperity by exhaustion, to believe that money must come with burnout, that opportunity must always demand sacrifice. But God, in His mercy, is undoing that belief system. He is calling His chosen ones into a new truth, a truth where abundance flows not from pressure, but from peace, not from panic, but from posture. The posture of alignment. What does this alignment look like? It begins in the heart. When your heart is free of fear and filled with faith, you begin to radiate a new kind of energy. The content we've explored declares it this way: money is not your enemy or a source of stress. It is a natural energy that flows to those who embrace it without fear or resistance. In other words, the moment you stop resisting wealth, when you no longer view it as unspiritual, or dangerous, or corrupting, you open the floodgates of heaven. You see, wealth is a tool, not a trap. And for the chosen one, it is a divine assignment. It is not given so you can hoard it, it is given so you can steward it. But before God releases abundance into your hands, He must first align your heart. That is why some of you went through seasons of lack, not as punishment, but as preparation. You had to unlearn the idea that you had to earn everything by human effort. You had to release the fear that told you you're not worthy to receive. And now, because your spirit has been realigned with truth, you are no longer chasing blessing, blessing is now chasing you. This is not a theory. This is a spiritual law, you attract what you are aligned with. The content puts it plainly, you attract more of everything you desire, the universe is listening to your energy. Understand this, child of God, God created the universe, and the universe operates on His command. So when your heart, your mind, and your soul are synchronized with His will, the entire spiritual ecosystem begins to respond. Doors open. Resources flow. Connections appear. Why? Because heaven has registered your alignment. You're no longer standing outside the current, you are flowing in it. And it's not just about having a positive mindset. This is about embodying a spiritual identity. When you walk as someone who knows they are already blessed, when your posture is no longer desperation, but confidence in Christ, you don't beg, you don't plead, you don't panic. You trust, and therefore, you receive. Every step you take, no matter how small, sends a message: I am ready. I am in agreement with heaven. I am aligned with abundance. And the Lord honors that. This is what the content meant when it said, the manifestation of wealth is not only about practical steps. It is also about aligning your heart, mind, and soul with the endless flow of blessings that surround you. Do you see the shift? It's no longer about what you do, it's about who you are becoming. You are no longer living from a place of striving, but from a place of being. Being a child of God. Being a vessel of light. Being a carrier of divine purpose. But let us not stop there. Let us press deeper into what this truly means. This alignment is not static, it must be maintained. Just as a river remains powerful only when it stays within its banks, your spiritual flow must remain contained within truth. That means guarding your thoughts. It means releasing bitterness. It means choosing gratitude over grumbling. It means trusting even when nothing visible has changed. Because make no mistake, the shift happens inside before it happens outside. When your inner world submits to divine peace, your outer world must respond in kind. Some of you are asking, but why haven't I seen the financial breakthrough yet? And the Spirit responds, because the breakthrough begins when your identity changes. When you stop identifying as a struggler, and start identifying as one who is spiritually aligned with overflow. You are no longer who you were. You don't need to wait until your bank account changes to declare your transformation. Declare it now. Live it now. Walk as if it's already done. Because, beloved, it is already done. And so, this part of your journey brings us to a pivotal understanding: you don't get rich by chasing riches. You step into wealth by stepping into alignment. The key is not hustle, it is harmony. The posture is not labor, it is lordship. God is not calling you to overwork. He is calling you to overflow. This shift is sacred. It is the moment when you realize that you were never meant to earn your place in divine abundance. You were always meant to remember it. To return to it. To reclaim it. Because before you were formed, God knew you. And when He shaped you, He encoded within your spirit the frequency of increase. And now, in this hour, that frequency is resonating again. You're not just walking toward wealth, you're walking as wealth. Not just toward blessing, but as one who blesses. Not just into possession, but into purpose. Let your actions, your thoughts, your prayers reflect this alignment. Don't just speak abundance, live as one who has already received. Don't just wait for miracles, become the miracle. Don't just pray for overflow, carry the energy of it in your very being. Because, chosen one, the river has already been released. And as we prepare to continue, understand this truth: the days of striving are over. The era of spiritual alignment has begun. The wealth that once felt distant is now drawing near, not by your efforts, but by your embodiment of divine trust. You are no longer working for the blessing, you are walking in the rhythm of it. And from this point on, every decision you make will either deepen that alignment, or disrupt it. Let the former be true of you. Let this be your declaration: I am aligned. I am ready. I am wealthy in spirit, and now, wealth flows through my life with ease and joy. Now, with your spirit rooted in this truth, we now arrive at the turning point many find the hardest to accept: the waiting season. The time between the promise and its fulfillment. The hours, the days, the years where it seems like everything is standing still, but the truth is, everything is moving, deep beneath the surface. This moment in your journey, though it may feel silent and slow, is not a delay. It is a divine preparation. The reason wealth has not fully appeared yet is not because heaven is hesitating, but because God is aligning every detail, both around you and within you. The delay is not punishment, it is sacred timing. God is not only preparing the blessing for you, He is preparing you for the blessing. We must learn to see every obstacle not as opposition, but as redirection. This is the sacred truth of divine redirection. As it is written in the content, every setback and every delay is part of the process of preparing for the opportunities that await you. That is not a poetic phrase, it is a spiritual law. Sometimes God must close a door, not because He doesn't want you to succeed, but because you are about to walk into something smaller than what He prepared. The pain of rejection is often the protection of your destiny. What looked like a no from the world was actually a wait from heaven. In this space, you are invited into a discipline the world avoids: patience. Patience is not passive. It is powerful. When you hold your peace in the silence, you are announcing to heaven and earth: I trust the God who made me. I believe even when I do not see. Hebrews 11 verse 1 tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So every time you hold on to faith in the dark, you are creating the very evidence that will one day be visible in the light. Child of God, you are now stepping into perhaps the most important threshold of your life. And the threshold is not a place, it is a posture. It is a spiritual stance of trust. When you wake up and the numbers in your account haven't changed, but you still speak abundance, that is trust. When the door hasn't opened yet, but you still walk in confidence, that is trust. And every moment you choose trust over worry, you accelerate the energy of manifestation. You shorten the distance between you and the miracle. Let me tell you this clearly, gratitude is not just a response to blessing, it is a trigger for it. The content says, feel gratitude even before it arrives, for this gratitude will multiply your blessings. That is more than encouragement. It is instruction. When you give thanks in advance, you are not faking it, you are activating it. Gratitude is the language of faith. It is how your spirit tells heaven, I am ready. And when heaven hears readiness, it responds. Some of you have been trying to push your way into the next season. But what if, instead of pushing, God is asking you to pause, to breathe, to surrender? There is power in the posture of surrender. There is energy in resting in the arms of God. This is the spiritual paradox: the more you let go, the faster you align. The more you trust, the sooner you see. As the content reminds us, the darkest moments are when the brightest light is born. And so, if you are in a dark hallway right now, don't curse it. Praise through it. Because your praise is birthing the light. This process is not about God changing your situation, it's about Him changing you. The external wealth is on the way, yes, but the internal strength must be formed first. This is where resilience is born. This is where discernment is sharpened. This is where you stop asking, why is this happening, and start asking, what is this preparing me for? And when you ask that, the answer will echo in your soul: God is preparing you to be someone who can carry, not just receive, the blessing. So if you feel like you've been stuck, I tell you now in the authority of the Spirit, you have not been stuck. You have been stationed, positioned, rooted. So that when the doors open, you will not waver. So that when the flood of prosperity comes, you will not drown in it, you will swim in it. You will navigate it. Because you have been anchored in the presence of God. And so, beloved, rest your heart. Release your frustration. Let go of the timeline you tried to control. Trust that God has not forgotten a single tear, a single prayer, a single sacrifice. All of it has been recorded. All of it is being used. And very soon, all of it will be redeemed. This is the moment you begin to align with a higher vibration. This is not about passive waiting anymore, this is about active preparation. You are not just hoping. You are becoming. You are not just praying for the blessing, you are preparing to host it, carry it, multiply it, and share it. So let us walk with the awareness that we are not waiting in vain. We are waiting in faith. We are waiting in power. And from this place of trust and spiritual posture, we are ready to step into the next phase, not as those who are unsure, but as those who know the truth, that everything is already flowing, and all we are called to do now is to receive, align, and move forward with grace. Now that you have endured the waiting season with faith and learned to align your heart with heaven's timing, the Lord speaks clearly again: you are being set free. No more laboring under the yoke of endless toil. No more surviving from paycheck to paycheck. No more binding your purpose to a clock that never stops ticking. This is not just the end of a career cycle, it is the divine release of your soul from a system that was never built to carry your calling. No more working overtime and working 9 to 5, not because labor is evil, but because God has destined you for more than labor. You were not created to serve time, you were created to serve the kingdom. This is your emancipation from the mindset that told you work equals worth. Your identity was never in a job description. It has always been in your divine designation. This is the season where God breaks the chains of financial dependence that have kept you bound. He sees your heart. He knows the dreams you've deferred, not because you lacked passion, but because you lacked provision. And so He declares, I will remove every excuse. I will fund your purpose. I will provide for the vision I gave you. As the content declares, God is giving you this wealth, because you feel like you don't have the financial means to act. He knows that. And He is leaving no excuse. Hear this clearly, dear one: when God gives provision, He also gives permission. No more wondering if you're allowed to pursue your calling. He has already said yes. The resources will meet you as you move. He is making a way, not so you can simply be free from bills, but so you can be free for impact. But understand this, freedom is not about luxury, it's about leadership. God didn't free you from one master so you could wander. He freed you to follow him more fully. The wealth he places in your hand is not a finish line, it's a tool. This wealth is not just for you. It's for the betterment of the world. That is not a metaphor, it is a mandate. God gives you overflow so that others may drink from the well he dug in you. You will serve, not because you must, but because you can. Your abundance is the platform from which you will heal, teach, build, and elevate others. You are not just a recipient of God's riches, you are now a vessel of his generosity. This is why the Lord is shifting your understanding of wealth. He is redefining it for you, not as something you store, but something you sow, not as something you accumulate, but something you activate. The goal is not to escape responsibility, but to step into a new one where your time is no longer spent surviving, but creating. Now is the time to direct your life in a more meaningful way, to create more and inspire more. This is the sacred transition from busyness to purpose. From deadlines to divine impact. Every minute you once spent serving systems will now serve the kingdom. And what you create will not fade. It will echo into eternity. You see, time is the greatest currency of heaven. And the Lord is now redeeming your time. All the years that were eaten up by fear, fatigue, and fruitless labor are being restored. He is giving you the space to breathe, to reflect, to dream again. And not only to dream, but to act. For too long you have said, if only I had the means, I would. Now God is answering, I have given you the means, now move. You will no longer live in delay. You will walk in deployment. And as you walk, something even deeper begins to happen. Your spirit, which was once suppressed by the grind, now awakens to its full stature. You begin to feel what it means to be truly alive, not just functioning, but flourishing. This is not rest from work, it is rest in your work. You move with peace. You act from alignment. You choose assignments, not out of fear of scarcity, but out of obedience to significance. Your time becomes holy. Your choices become sacred. And your daily life becomes worship. In this new rhythm, you are not rushing, you are flowing. You are not grasping, you are giving. And this shift does not make you less powerful, it makes you more powerful. Because now, you are operating as God intended, as a source of divine influence. The content reminds us, you are a source of great power in God's hands. What a humbling and holy reality. That the one who formed the stars now trusts you to carry his light into this dark world. That he has placed wealth, wisdom, and time into your hands, not to lift yourself up, but to lift others out. Beloved, do you see the magnitude of this moment? You are no longer a worker of systems, you are now a builder of destinies. Your life is no longer on autopilot. It is a divine assignment. Every resource, every connection, every opportunity is now under heaven's command. And you, yes, you, have been chosen to steward them for glory. No more shrinking. No more waiting for permission. No more apologizing for your blessing. Rise in full awareness that God has not only equipped you, He has commissioned you. And so, let this be the declaration that marks the shift: you are not just released from something, you are released for something. You are no longer limited by time, you are entrusted with it. You are no longer defined by labor, you are defined by legacy. Let every day moving forward be shaped not by obligation, but by overflow. When the Lord elevates you, He does not only elevate your finances. He lifts the veil. As He ushers you into a season of abundance, He also brings you into a season of clarity, where what was once hidden in the hearts of those around you becomes unmistakably revealed. This part of your journey is not simply about provision. It is about perception. And as the blessings begin to manifest, so too will the true intentions of those who walk beside you. It is written in the spirit of this message, some people who at first appear to be friends may actually be the ones who want to take advantage of your power and wealth. These are not just words of warning, they are words of preparation. Because as the Lord expands your table, not every person who pulls up a chair comes to break bread in peace. Some come with silent envy. Some come with agendas cloaked in smiles. And it is in this sacred moment that God teaches you a crucial truth: prosperity is a spotlight. It will illuminate the hearts of those near you more clearly than any conversation ever could. You must understand, dear one, that wealth is not only a blessing, it is a test. It will expose the insecure, confront the jealous, and disturb the complacent. And this has nothing to do with you doing anything wrong. In fact, it has everything to do with you walking in what's right. When you begin to radiate the light of divine favor, some will not celebrate it. They will criticize it, not because of any fault in you, but because your light reveals what they have tried to keep hidden in themselves. As the original message states, their scorn or criticism is only their fear and should not affect your journey. That fear may sound like mockery, like subtle digs, or passive-aggressive comments. It may even come from people who once clapped for you, now whispering against you. But you must hold fast to the truth: what God has started, no man can stop. You see, what has been given to you is not fragile. It is not dependent on popular opinion. It does not rest on human approval. It is divine. It is authored and sealed by the King of Kings. And no person's doubt, jealousy, or betrayal can remove what heaven has already decided. As it is declared in this message, what God has given you, no one can take away from you. This is your spiritual inheritance. This is not temporary success. This is destiny. So do not be shaken when relationships begin to shift. Do not be surprised when silence replaces support. That silence is not rejection. It is revelation. God is pruning your circle so that only those who are pure of heart will remain. This is not punishment. This is protection. Wealth, dear one, reveals. It reveals the cracks in character. It reveals the loyalty of hearts. It reveals the strength of bonds. And though it may hurt to see some faces fall away, it is necessary. You cannot carry the weight of glory and the weight of false friendships at the same time. God is preparing you to lead, to bless, to build. And He cannot allow you to be surrounded by those who will drain, diminish, or distract. So consider it a divine mercy when He shows you who is for you, and who is not. You are being refined not only in abundance, but also in discernment. True friends will not fear your elevation. They will rejoice in it. They will intercede for you in secret and stand beside you in public. They will not shrink from your shine, they will reflect it with grace. But the counterfeit will be exposed. Not because you've changed, but because your elevation has forced them to confront their own limitations. As painful as it is, this is part of your sanctification. And it is holy. For as the message says, when God gives you wealth, it is a test not only in the material sense but also in the spiritual and emotional sense. That test is not about what you possess, it is about how you perceive. Can you still love when love is not returned? Can you walk in honor even when dishonor is thrown at you? Can you stay rooted in purpose when popularity begins to fade? These are the questions that define your maturity in this new season. Let me speak plainly, beloved, there will be slander. There will be misunderstanding. But do not waste your energy trying to explain or defend what God has ordained. The people who are meant to walk with you will understand without explanation. Those who are not will misunderstand no matter what you say. So bless them. Release them. And keep moving forward. Do not allow the noise to make you question the assignment. Do not allow offense to derail your focus. You are not here to win approval, you are here to fulfill prophecy. You are not here to convince, you are here to carry. And you carry something sacred. The calling on your life is not up for debate. The favor on your life is not up for vote. The mission you carry is not a group project. It is between you and the one who called you. And that means your validation must come from him alone. Your worth is not diminished by rejection. It is revealed in how you respond to it. Let their criticism become confirmation. Let their withdrawal become your wind. Let their absence create space for God's presence to surround you more deeply. And so I remind you again, do not let the light in you dim because others cannot handle its brightness. You were made to shine. You were made to lead. And you were made to endure. The same God who gave you the blessing will give you the strength to steward it with honor, even when it's lonely. This is the refining fire of favor. But on the other side of that fire is clarity, courage, and a tribe of people who see you, not for what you have, but for who you are. Now, as we prepare to move forward, anchor this truth in your heart: your elevation was not just for celebration, it was for separation. And this separation is not to break you, it is to build you. For what comes next requires focus, purity, and relentless trust in the one who chose you. Let the pruning be your preparation. Let the exposure be your confirmation. And let the discomfort be your consecration. This is not the time to step back. This is the time to rise. Because what's ahead of you is not just more wealth, but more purpose, more clarity, and more anointing than ever before. Are you ready? Now that the weight of poverty has been lifted, now that your soul has been renewed, and now that you are standing firmly in the flow of divine abundance, it is time to understand the deeper reason behind your elevation. Yes, you are now walking in wealth. Yes, the resources of heaven are pouring into your hands. But let us be very clear, you were not blessed merely to be comfortable. You were chosen to be a conduit of transformation, a divine ambassador whose abundance is not just for personal joy, but for global impact. You were chosen to change the world. The blessings you've received were never intended to stop with you. God did not break the yoke of financial struggle in your life simply so you could live in ease. He did it because He saw within you a heart that could carry His mission. He saw your tears. He heard your prayers. He observed how you remained faithful in the wilderness. And now that you have stepped into your promised land, He is handing you the mantle of influence, not for vanity, but for vision. As it is declared in this divine message, this wealth is not just for you. It is for the betterment of the world. This is not a reward, it is a commissioning. You have been entrusted with power because you have been called to purpose. It is time to understand that abundance is not the destination. It is the tool. The real journey begins now. The question is not whether you will be wealthy. That has already been settled. The question is, what will you do with what heaven has placed in your hands? Will you store it away in fear, or will you sow it in faith? Will you hide it for comfort, or will you use it to unlock doors for those who have never even seen a key? God is not asking for perfection, He is asking for surrender. For the one who is willing to say, "Lord, use me," becomes a vessel through which cities are rebuilt, families are restored, and nations are revived. You are not just a survivor of struggle. You are now a pioneer of promise. The message speaks directly to you: you are a traveler, but you are also a leader, a pioneer, a hero. Hear this with the ears of your spirit: you were never meant to remain unseen. You were always meant to shine. The pain you walked through gave you eyes to see suffering. The lack you endured gave you compassion for the broken. And now, the wealth you've received gives you the means to rebuild what the enemy tried to destroy. You are a torchbearer in this generation, and others will find their way because of the light you now carry. But with great light comes great responsibility. You must steward this favor with reverence. As the message wisely warns, how you use this wealth depends on your spiritual maturity, your decisions, and your attitude. Wealth does not automatically produce wisdom. That must be cultivated. Your discernment must now grow as your influence expands. You are being called to deeper waters, where your decisions affect more than just yourself. You are no longer planting seeds for one life, you are sowing into legacies, into generations, into eternity. Every dollar you move, every word you speak, every opportunity you step into is now a spiritual assignment. Handle it not with fear, but with holy focus. And remember this, you are not doing this in your own strength. You are not a lone warrior trying to lift the world. No, you are a source of great power in God's hands. You are the instrument. He is the composer. You are the vessel. He is the source. Your role is not to perform miracles but to make room for miracles to happen through you. You are the voice that will speak life where there is despair. You are the heart that will give where there has been neglect. You are the hands that will rebuild where others have abandoned. God did not make you wealthy to isolate you, He made you wealthy to activate you. So what does this mean in practical terms? It means your life must become a mission field. Your business is not just for income, it is for impact. Your home is not just a haven, it is a healing place. Your platform is not just for popularity, it is a pulpit. Wherever you are planted, you are called to pour. Your wealth gives you access. Your calling gives you direction. And your spiritual maturity gives you wisdom to know where, when, and how to release what you've been given. Let me speak to the lingering hesitation in your heart. You might be wondering, but who am I to take on this role? Child of God, you are who He says you are. And He says you are chosen. You are not being asked to do what others have done, you are being asked to do what only you can do. Your experiences, your gifts, your voice, they are unique fingerprints on a sacred assignment. And heaven will back you when you move in obedience. You are not stepping into someone else's shoes. You are stepping into your own divine destiny. And now we come to the question, the sacred call to action. Now you are a millionaire, what will you do with this wealth? This is not a rhetorical question. This is the moment where dreams become decisions. This is where calling becomes commitment. You have been given everything necessary to move forward. Every tool, every connection, every provision is being aligned to support what God has placed within you. But He will not force your hand. He invites you. He calls you. And now it is time to respond. This is the final preparation before the release. Your wealth is in place. Your identity is clear. Your purpose is ignited. Now, the world awaits the unveiling of the chosen one who has been hidden in plain sight. You are not entering a battlefield, you are entering a mission field. And your wealth is the sword. Your faith is the shield. Your purpose is the map. And your God is the guide. So step forward, not as someone uncertain, but as someone awakened. Step forward with holy boldness. Step forward with tears in your eyes and fire in your soul. Because what you've received was not random. It was divine. And it was never just for you. It was for the world. Are you ready to step into that calling? Then prepare your heart. Because in the next breath, we go forward, not as survivors, but as leaders. Not as recipients, but as reformers. Not as those who merely dream, but as those who build. As we reach the end of this divine message, I invite you to pause, take a breath, and truly let this truth settle deep in your spirit. Now you are a millionaire. This is not merely a hopeful phrase meant to inspire you. This is a spiritual decree, a declaration from heaven itself. It marks the end of waiting, of wondering, of wandering. It closes the chapter of delay and opens the doorway into possession, into movement, into living fully in the inheritance that has already been spoken over your life. When you hear these words, you must allow them to reshape how you see yourself, how you speak about your future, and how you show up in the world. You are no longer preparing for breakthrough, you are standing in it. Now, the question must be asked, not to burden you, but to empower you. What will you do with this wealth? This question is not only about finances. It is about purpose. It is about how you will carry what has been entrusted to you. Will you live for your own comfort, or will you become a vessel of hope for those still in darkness? Will you see this abundance as a destination, or will you embrace it as a beginning, an opportunity to build, to uplift, to awaken those around you? Because true wealth is not measured by what we store, but by what we sow into others. It is not about the size of your bank account, but about the size of your obedience to the calling of God. This is the hour where purpose must rise higher than preference, and responsibility must take the lead over reward. And so, I extend to you this invitation, not from man, but from heaven itself. If your spirit bears witness that this word is for you, then let your agreement be known. Speak it, write it, declare it, God, I accept. Let those words flow from your heart not as ritual, but as revelation. Let them be the signature of your surrender, the seal of your faith, the anthem of your becoming. When you say, God, I accept, you are doing more than interacting with a message. You are forming a covenant. You are stepping into divine alignment with the will of the Father. You are saying, I will no longer resist what you've called me to walk in. I receive it. I will live it. Let this not be another video you watch and then forget. Let this be the moment everything shifted. Let this be the hour where your belief becomes embodiment, where your faith becomes footsteps. From this point forward, walk as one who has received. Speak with the confidence of someone who knows their identity is sealed in heaven. Make decisions with the clarity of one who has been chosen, elevated, and sent. Live as someone who no longer asks, will it happen, but declares, it is already done. That is the faith God is honoring. That is the posture heaven responds to. You are no longer someone reaching for the promise. You are the living fulfillment of that promise. And everything you do from this moment forward must reflect that truth. Carry yourself with reverence, knowing that you have been trusted with great favor. Let your words carry life, your hands carry healing, your presence carry peace. And as you walk in this new mantle, never forget that this wealth, this influence, this opportunity, was never meant to stay with you. It was meant to flow through you. You are not the end of the blessing. You are the beginning of a greater movement. So today, I urge you to step out with boldness. Not because it's easy, but because it's time. Heaven has done its part. God has aligned the seasons, opened the gates, prepared the ground. Now it is your turn to walk, to live, to shine. You are a millionaire in spirit, in calling, in promise, and now it is time to let that truth become visible in how you lead, how you serve, how you love. And if this word has awakened something deep within you, then I invite you, not out of habit, but out of holy agreement, to take action. Like this message as a declaration that you receive it. Subscribe to this channel so that you remain connected with a community that believes as you believe, that stands as you stand, that walks in faith just as you are learning to walk now. And share this message with someone who is still wondering if God has a plan for their life, because your obedience may be the spark that ignites their awakening. Now you are a millionaire. The question is no longer if you are worthy. The question is, will you now live like it is true? Let the world see what it looks like when one of God's chosen walks in fullness. Let them see what it means when heaven's promise meets earthly obedience. Let them see you. And through you, let them see Him. Amen.